Okay, guys, this is part two of the EQ Magnums that were ported by a customer, and I'm just doing some testing on it. I did forget to show you guys what the stock Magnum valve looked like. Now, you can see it does have a back cut, but it's a very shallow back cut, and it has a very wide seat cut. And the only thing we changed is we went for this flow, we went with a new EQ valve, which has an evaporation ridge on it. Let's see if I can get to the focus better. Okay, and what the evaporation ridge is designed to do is to break up that fuel. And you can see it does a pretty good job on the valve. It definitely looks different in the bowl. It's much thinner coming out on the seat than it was. This was thicker right here, but maybe hard to see. Let's see if we can change the light. Okay, I think I can get it. We have blue along this edge where we didn't have it last test. Okay? That's one of the things I think this ridge is originally designed to do, is to shear the fuel that comes off. I probably would have designed this head a little bit less angle right here, right, coming up a little bit more. I would have changed this a little bit. Instead of this being so concave, I would have made it come up more closer to the valve. But that's just me. Okay, it looks pretty good this way. My camera's giving me a little bit of a hard time focusing today. I'm not really sure what's going on. And this looks very similar to what we had, but I would say it's a little finer due to that evaporation ridge. Okay, a little bit closer look at those two. Okay, let's see how it did. I feel like that lens was dirty. I gave it a little clean, and hopefully it's better. Okay, this was our first with the Magnum intake valve stock. This is the only thing we did is it's the EQ intake stock with the evaporation ridge. So if we go from side to side, we got minus, 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 minus. We have less noise than we had here. We actually top out way better, but we only have two pluses. So our entire curve takes a hit. Okay, now think about it. If we're only going to go 500 lift, do we want more peak or do we want a fatter curve? I know the one that I like better. In any case, since we did so much better here, I mean, 212 basically, 220, 234, huge difference, okay? And the reason it's so much different is that evaporation ridge makes it flow around the valve a little bit differently. Okay, you could see it knocked all of these flows back quite a bit. I mean, look at this. We got 82, 103. That's a huge difference at low lift, right? And it's a street ride. I would prefer this. I would like this much noise though. So let's see what our next flow is going to be. It's going to take this valve. We're going to put a back cut on it, and hopefully we can do a little better than this in the low, and maybe even top out a little better. We're going to try. As far as our swirls, minus, plus, minus, minus, minus. Our swirls all took a hit because of the way the air flows around that evaporation ridge. Now, if you notice, we had 0 here. We had minus 222 there, which means we've got tons of air coming around the short side. Okay, our positive direction is this way. So at that very low lift, we have more air coming across our short side, spinning this way. I'm usually not a big fan of swirl reversals, so we're going to see if we can get rid of that when we put the back cut on it. I'm going to say I bet it goes away. Okay, we didn't redo the exhaust because we're not touching the exhaust for this little bit of testing. But now let's take a look at our air speeds. Okay, up top is the stock Magnum valve. We're going to compare our intake air speeds here with our intake air speeds here. Plus, plus, plus. Why? Because we're putting a lot more air through it. 0.5-inch lift. Top of the bowl. Huge difference. Nice pickup both sides. Our ratio from one side to the other hasn't changed, really. It's very, very close. And all of our short sides went way up because we are way more efficient at 500. We're 234, whereas the other ones are 212. Something to think about, right, guys? Okay, so what do we need to do next? We need to wire brush our blue out, put a back cut on our intake valve, and retest. All right, guys, I'm going to guess this is going to be a relatively short one because there's not a whole lot to talk about. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Have a good night.